up, we joined Thailand Tzu Chi volunteers as they hold a groundbreaking ceremony for the chapter house. Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital holds a drill to prepare themselves in case of an Ebola outbreak in Taiwan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. The Tzu Chi Thailand chapter has since 2005 been in search of a suitable plot of land to build its own premise, which includes a new chapter house and a Jingsi hall. In April of 2011, volunteers finally laid eyes on a 2-hectare lot opposite Suan Long Rama 9 Park. The groundbreaking ceremony for the new chapter took place on November 3rd.
At the groundbreaking ceremony of what will soon be the new Tzu Chi Thailand chapter, volunteers prepared simple offerings of fruit to mark the occasion.
做事情用心就 OK 了。
Since 2005, Tzu Chi volunteers have been in search of a suitable plot of land to construct a new chapter house and a Jingsi hall. After 7 years, in 2011, volunteers finally found the perfect piece of land opposite Suan Luang Rama 9 Park. This year, they are finally able to break ground.
We hope that Buddhism, our Jingsi Dharma lineage, and Tzu Chi can thrive and prosper here.
Prior to the groundbreaking, Tzu Chi volunteers prepared the construction site for the ceremony and prayed that the construction goes smoothly.
We hope everyone can follow closely in the Master's footsteps and cultivate Buddhism and the Dharma.
This is a journey to be savored each step of the way. Let's offer our sincerest blessings upon land and pray that everything will go smoothly during construction.
The Tzu Chi chapter will occupy 2,000 square meters of space on this 2.5-hectare piece of land, where it will become a spiritual haven of Tzu Chi in Thailand.
Harvest time has come in Myanmar, and traveling through the farming communities, you will be sure to spot fields of rice glistening in the sun. In Taiwan Township, farmer Mindreen Thuan, who sets aside a handful of rice each day to reciprocate Tzu Chi's help during Cyclone Nargis, has further vowed to donate a portion of his rice harvest to help the less fortunate. Meanwhile, he has also signed up for the Tzu Chi volunteer training program to learn and foster the Tzu Chi spirit to help more people in need.
It is once again harvest season in Myanmar. Today, the sky is blue and the sun is shining. Mindreen Thuan arrived at his fields early in the morning to harvest rice together with the Tzu Chi volunteers.
Look at my neighbor's rice. His rice is not as plump, whereas my rice plants are taller and healthier.
Back in 2010, Tzu Chi volunteers distributed rice to help farmers whose lives were devastated by Cyclone Nargis sustain themselves. To reciprocate the volunteers' kindness, Mindreen Thuan takes a hand of rice and stores it into a container each day to help the less fortunate. And his fields have also seen bumper harvests year after year. However, Mindreen Thuan has another wish.
I've been saving up rice every day to help the needy, but I think it's not enough. So I'd like to donate more rice to help. In the past, I thought I was very poor. But seeing those who are worse off than me, I want to grow and donate more rice.
Over the years, Mindreen Thuan's gestures have impacted other farmers and villagers as well. Not only do nearby farmers not use pesticides on their crops, villagers have also joined him in practicing one good deed a day.
My uncle's actions inspire all the villagers and our relatives to save up a handful of rice each day. We also want to be able to help others.
Now that life has turned around for Mindreen Thuan, he has decided to join a Tzu Chi volunteer training program.
Now that I'm wearing Tzu Chi's uniform, it makes me the master's disciple. I want to cultivate the Tzu Chi spirit and help all those in the world that need help.
As the seeds of kindness and empathy take root and grow in Mindreen Thuan's heart, he will be sure to spread this kindness and love to more people.
Cataract is a common and treatable eye disease. As people age, they are more likely to develop this condition. In the Philippines, though, it is not so easy for the poor to seek treatment. Thankfully, the Tzu Chi Great Love Free Clinic Center in Manila provides free cataract surgery to the disadvantaged on a regular basis.
In the Philippines, Aurelia can only listen to, instead of watch her television. The activities she can do are also getting fewer with each passing day.
I can no longer do any of the normal daily activities on my own, such as doing laundry. Without my eyesight, I have also lost my will to live.
Another senior, Crescentia, is in even more of a bind. Besides suffering from cataract, a solitary senior also has to beg to survive.
My children all have their own life and they are not well off either. This is why I'm begging on the streets to survive.
Cataracts have robbed many people of their dreams and life. Thankfully, the Tzu Chi Great Love Free Clinic Center in Manila can help treat the condition. After undergoing surgery performed by compassionate medical volunteers, these cataract patients can see once more.
Thank you, doctors, for curing me. And thank you, Tzu Chi. Without Tzu Chi, I wouldn't have my eyesight.
Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin ako nakakakita. Marami sila natutulungan. Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Tzu Chi. Everyone here is so nice. I even gave my doctor a hug and thanked him personally.
Napakabait niya. Maraming salamat. Sabi ko kay doktor, inakap ko siya. Nagpapasalamat ako marami.
Before, my vision was really blurry. Now, I can finally see normally once again. Thank you, Tzu Chi.
According to an official report by the Filipino government, the total economic loss due to Typhoon Haiyan is about $980 million. Furthermore, the government also stated that it will need 10 years to help the country rebuild. To help disaster survivors get back on their feet as quickly as possible, the Tzu Chi Foundation and the government of Ormoc City established a Cash for Work program. Thanks to the program, many disaster survivors were able to put food on the table. Next, let's take a look at how the residents are doing a year after the incident.
When Typhoon Haiyan struck the Philippines, many parts of Tacloban City were completely ruined. Back then, disaster survivors rushed into the street fighting for food. Due to the disaster, 5.1 million residents in the city lost their jobs and can now barely make ends meet. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers walked into Tacloban City and established a Cash for Work program. The program not only gives residents the chance to help their communities, but also earn an income twice that of the average salary.
We thought there was no hope left in Tacloban City, but Tzu Chi Foundation came and helped us. All of us were extremely happy for that.
A year has passed, but Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program is still going strong.
Tzu Chi volunteers have gathered those living in temporary shelters to help build their future homes and even pay them for their efforts.
This is Mark, who lost his job as an engineer due to Typhoon Haiyan. Just when Mark saw no way out, the blue and white clad angels walked into his life.
Tzu Chi's ideals are very inspiring. The organization has encouraged me to help those in greater need.
Seeing the success of Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program, Ormoc City government decided to follow suit.
The government of Ormoc City has established a Cash for Work program where residents grow vegetables in this field. Every day they are given about $6, and when the vegetables are ready for harvest, they can sell them in the market or take them home. It is a win-win situation.
Following the disasters, 54-year Lilia and her family moved into the government housing. Lilia says the program has given her a chance to earn an income.
We can purchase food with the money we receive from growing the vegetables, or we can take the vegetables home and cook them.
This is the listed who, thanks to the cash flow program, was able to save up enough money to open a general store.
My husband works in Manila as a taxi driver. I have a child that is in university and 2 in high school, so we don't have enough money to cover all our expenses.
Disaster survivors are working hard for a better tomorrow as they wait for the local economy to revive. This hardware store in Tacloban City is packed with customers because many survivors are still repairing their homes. According to a government report, the total economic loss from Typhoon Hualien is approximately $980 million, and it is estimated that the country would take up to 10 years to recover fully.
Because with the help of Tzu Chi, other non-government sector groups, we are proceeding at a pace other foreign observers say faster than the other calamity-stricken areas.
A year has passed since the incident. Today, 5 couples are here to join hands in marriage. This is 90-year-old Garma who will be married Charlene.
When Typhoon Haiyan hit the Philippines, I lost my home and job.
Although struggling to put food on the table following the disaster, this young couple still faces each day with optimism.
We will work hard and support each other. We won't let our family go hungry.
Despite the road to recovery being very long for Typhoon Haiyan survivors, all of them know as long as they have hope in their hearts, a better tomorrow is not far away.
When discussing Buddhist architecture, no conversation would be complete without a look at the Chinese pagoda. Scholars generally agree that as Buddhism was introduced from India into China around the 1st century AD, the architecture of the Indian stupa gradually made its way into Chinese society. In today's report, we take you on an exploration of the 1,000-year-old Sakyamuni Pagoda. Here in Yin County, Shanxi Province, one finds the majestic Sakyamuni Pagoda. The 8-sided pagoda, built in 1056, stands at 67.31 meters tall and has a diameter of 30 meters, making it the biggest wooden structure in the world. Along with Italy's Leaning Tower of Pisa and the Eiffel Tower in Paris, it is considered one of the top 3 towers in the world.
The name Sakyamuni Pagoda was actually chosen by the emperor, as a Buddhist relic was enshrined within the tower. The tower actually holds a relic of the Buddha himself.
Enshrined inside the tower is a tooth said to have come from the Buddha himself. The aptly named Sakyamuni Pagoda was finished in 1056 in the 2nd year of the reign of Emperor Daozong of the Liao dynasty. Over the centuries, the pagoda has withstood earthquakes, fires, and war, prompting some to call it a 1,000-year-old mystery.
Not one nail was used in the construction of the pagoda. It's truly amazing they were able to build such a large pagoda 900 years ago. It contains a deep connection to Buddhist culture. It was built here in Yin County, as the mother of Emperor Daozong was from here.
The predecessor of the Chinese pagoda is the Indian stupa, which is generally a large circular mound built in honor of the Buddha.
Just the structure alone doesn't mean anything. The pagoda has to contain a relic. Then people will come to pay their respects. As seeing the relic is like seeing the Buddha himself. The rounded stupa was a symbol of the Buddha. As time wore on, the structure slowly grew bigger and bigger. However, once in China, the stupa became a wooden structure that was hollow inside.
During the flourishing of Buddhism in China, every temple had a pagoda, which had become a symbol of the Buddha's teachings. Originally, most pagodas only housed the relics of the Buddha himself. However, as Buddhism continued to spread in China, the country began to cultivate its own Buddhist masters, who upon cremation also left behind relics. Therefore, with the understanding that these masters were reincarnations of the Buddha, their Chinese disciples began to build stupas to house these relics. Taishan's Longquan Temple's White Pagoda is the resting place of monk Pu Ji, who lived during the late Qing dynasty. Pagodas later became the gravestones of famous monks, which not only allowed the deeds of these monks to be remembered, but also helped propagate Buddhism.
The Buddhist pagoda is a symbol of divinity. For us, the symbol of divinity comes in many shapes and forms. The role of the pagoda is to arouse our wisdom and compassion.
Since ancient times, pagodas have been used to spread the teachings of Buddhism. However, their deeper meaning is to remind Buddhists that we all have a pagoda of the heart that is built layer upon layer with good deeds and sincerity. On November 5th, Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital conducted a drill to prepare for a possible outbreak of Ebola to familiarize themselves with the proper procedures, as knowing how to protect themselves against the infectious disease is the first line of defense.
我在10月28号的时候有从港府那边转机到欧洲。口罩先戴起来哈，因为你在咳嗽哈。
Upon the realization that a possible Ebola case showed up during clinic hours, the first thing doctors do is inform the other hospital staff and begin Ebola protocols.
最近有什么旅游史吗？
我10月24到28去几内亚出差。
As the virus has a long incubation period, patients who are already in the hospital could also show symptoms of the disease as well. This is precisely why on November 5th, Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital conducted an Ebola drill.
Today, we are simulating Ebola cases in the clinic area and hospital rooms, because we want our first responders to familiarize themselves with these procedures. We need to first protect ourselves in order to have the ability to help others.
The drill this time includes not only the hospital's medical staff, but security guards, police patrols, ambulance drivers, and even the cleaning staff, as everyone who has the possibility of coming in contact with Ebola patients needs to know the proper way to put on and take off their protective gear.
We know that Ebola spreads by direct contact with bodily fluids of an infected person. So if in the process of taking off the protective gear, staff aren't careful, the chances of catching the disease is very high. So this is why we have asked guards and even cleaning staff to come learn the right procedures for wearing and taking off protective gear.
Covered from head to toe, there isn't an area left for carelessness. In shedding the layers of the protective clothing, one must avoid touching any contaminated surface. Being on high alert against the virus is the only way to prevent Ebola from spreading. Recently, volunteers in training from Taipei's Zhongshan district visited the DaAi TV station in Guangdu to learn more about the importance of media outlets in reporting on the truth. Also visiting the TV station were Shuanghe community volunteers who renewed their vigor in recycling after a more in-depth look into the mission of the TV station. Watching news anchors present the news seem effortless, but when one is put on the spot to do the job, these guests find it not so simple after all. Getting a tour of DaAi Station, community volunteers from Shuanghe learn more about the stream of purity the station tries to provide. Through senior volunteers and program producers' sharing of Master Zhenyan's missions, one volunteer sees the conservation mission in a new light.
Through recycling, I've become a person that gives back to society. I'm filled with gratitude because of it, and when I go back home, I am determined to invite more people to cultivate this field of blessings.
I really feel that DaAi TV has great programming. No matter if children or adults, the shows are suitable for all ages, and the different types of shows are all enjoyable.
No matter if it's television programming or live news broadcasts, DaAi TV strives to uphold its purity in the media. Meanwhile, Zhongshan's Datong volunteers also visited the DaAi station. Through senior news anchor Ni Mingchun's sharing on reporting the truth, many in the audience saw news in a new light.
We can't keep spreading erroneous information. Just like anchor Ni says, what you see isn't necessarily accurate. What you hear isn't necessarily true. We need to pay more attention to get to the truth.
What's most moving for me is the influence that good quality television programming has on our next generations. I hope through DaAi TV we can build a better future for our next generation.
Getting to know DaAi TV better has inspired these community volunteers and volunteers in training to further spread truth, goodness, and beauty back home. In August of 2013, Fushun City of Qingyuan County in China's Liaoning province experienced the worst flooding in history when 6 months' worth of rainfall came down in just 3 days. Tzu Chi volunteers from the provincial capital of Shenyang immediately offered their assistance and were finally given the go-ahead this year. At the end of last month, volunteers from Taiwan and other parts of China came together to hand out scholarships to 33 students of Qingyuan High School.
Fushun City of Liaoning Province's Qingyuan County is known for its mountainous terrain. Unfortunately, in August of 2013, the area experienced the worst flooding in history, impacting 60% of the population, when half a year worth of rainfall came down in 3 days. Immediately, Tzu Chi volunteers from the provincial capital, Shenyang, sought permission from the local government to provide scholarship aid. In March of this year, the volunteers were given the go-ahead and thus visited Qingyuan High School to conduct a survey with the actual award ceremony hosted in October. A total of 68 volunteers from both Taiwan and China set off at 5 in the morning for the event full of energy. Though material aid is important, the volunteers have a bigger goal. Many parents are already in tears before they take the first sip and can't help but embrace their children tightly.
Thank you for coming to our aid in our time of need. Thank you for letting us feel the light and warmth of love.
Thanks to love pouring in from all corners of society, we have the strength to support our children so they may continue to study and further themselves.
Though the temperature outside has already dropped below freezing point here, inside the school, everyone remains warm all over, thanks to the power of love.
In celebrating its 16th anniversary, the award-winning magazine Rhythms Monthly is holding a photo exhibition at the People's Park in Taichung, Taiwan. The exhibition, which started on November 6th and runs through until the end of the month, features over 170 pictures that depict different facets of Taiwanese communities in different periods. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching our show. Goodbye.